Are you sure if I push this button and not that one, the science project's gonna work right this time?
I am Neek.
Wait, what?
Good morning, students. Welcome to school. Remember, the thought of the day is...
They're coming. Our enemy doesn't tire. Doesn't stop. Doesn't feel.
Welcome, Neekology 101, the study of the nerd and geek in their natural habitat. I'm Gary. I'm solo today, but I've got some friends with me today. And here's what's funny about it is that we talk about this being a school. We're actually in school today, and these are actual teachers. So real quick, would you introduce yourself from my left to right? What's your name?
Laura Miller. I'm the secretary here at Val Verde High School.
Oh, welcome.
I go by Lupita, last name Uribe, and I am the English teacher on campus.
And I am James McCarrick, counselor here at Val Verde.
Nancy Silvestre, attendance tech here at Val Verde High.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. Well, thanks for being on our show today. Now, this is our first time we're doing a fan reaction, so this is kind of fun. So thanks for joining us on this. We tend to do some crazy fun things, so welcome to the show. So thanks for being on today. And so now our show, we look at, again, we kind of hit sci-fi, fantasy, and superheroes. So we kind of have a Fandom Universe. So you can kind of pick what your universe is. So it sounds like you guys love this, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Game of Thrones, which we have not covered yet. But you're welcome
we're
to.
Excited.
Yes, and James, real quick, you approached me about this, didn't you?
I did. There was the final season, and the pivotal episode was coming up this past Sunday. So,
right.
As a group, we want to discuss it, and what a great forum.
You were slightly excited.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
And it didn't disappoint in my mind.
Good. And I think we have mixed feelings too, right? Which is good. Different people. So great. Let's just real quick, as you guys feel comfortable, and whoever wants to jump in, what got you first interested in the show? You want to start, Laura? What got you interested in Game of Thrones?
Okay, what got me interested was everybody talking about it, and I hadn't seen it. And just like maybe 3 months ago, my husband and I got this free HBO season 1
Right.
and on our DirecTV, because we don't subscribe to HBO. And after season 1, we were totally hooked. We were like, okay, we are either going to subscribe to HBO or find a way to watch it.
Right.
So,
They hooked you in.
We watched it. We binge watched.
Gotta love binge watching, huh?
Yeah. So thank goodness we did
What
it
about
that
life?
way, because then we didn't have to wait a year and a half like everybody
Sure.
else
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
with season
Very
7
true.
I had that with
and
Lost.
8.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Very
it's been
true.
awesome.
Yes, very good. Miss Ruby?
So I think I started watching maybe 2013. So it's been a few years.
When did it come out?
I should have looked that up. I thought
2011.
2011. Okay.
Yeah, it's the
'cause-
8th season. So
Yeah,
Wow.
so there was a couple of seasons already out, and I had it was the summer. I think I was still in college, so between my junior and senior year. I had tried to watch the first episode, and I'm not a gory person at all. And the first episode, the first 10, 15 minutes are all gore.
Wow.
And so I turned it off and didn't come back to it until later on in the summer. And then I watched it through.
Not during dinner.
Not during dinner, for sure. And then I was just kind of hooked. And then, I binge watched the first and second season, whatever it was that was out. And then I
Nice.
just kind of kept it going throughout the years. So,
Very good. Wow, it's
the
amazing.
books.
8 years, huh?
yeah, picked up
Wow.
the books at a certain point. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, so you're a literary person too, so that's a good little tie-in right there.
she has it a better understanding than we do. I would
Oh,
say.
the depth,
Yeah,
right?
the
Yeah.
characters
Yeah.
for sure. There's
Ja-
so many.
Oh, I bet. Wow. Real fun. Here's a little quiz for you, quick, before you go too far. Have you guys ever heard? We've talked about this guy before. Robert Jordan. Have you ever heard of him before?
I don't
The Wheel of
think so.
Time series. It's like Lord of the Rings. All these on steroids. He's amazing stuff. He has 500 characters that are very distinct. So these guys have fantasy. You can pack a lot in there. It sounds like too. So there you go. James, how about you?
It started maybe after season 3 or 4. Just like the rest, one summer, everybody kept talking about it.
Gotta watch it. Yeah.
They were so excited about it coming around again, and so I figured, you know what? I have HBO this summer. I might as well start. And I started binge watching, and I think it was after. I started after the Red Wedding.
You already swore me one oath right here in my castle.
You swore by all the gods your son would marry my daughter!
Take me for a hostage!
That
So-
sounds like it's pivotal, right?
It was one of the big episodes, so I didn't know about it. And it wasn't until then where I started figuring, you know what, I should probably catch this show. And that way I know what everybody else is talking about.
There you go.
And it didn't disappoint.
Very good. Very good. Sounds good.
Actually, for me, it was my son who told me about it.
Oh, gotcha.
I needed a show to watch.
What were you just coming off of? You were the Walking Dead fan too, right?
Yeah. So he knew what I liked. So he's like, try Game of Thrones. I was like, no, I don't want to
It's not as gory.
No. He's like, give it a try. So he begged me to watch. We watched. I think that first day we watched like 4.
Hooked you in.
And then the next day it was binge watch after that.
Wow.
And I think I started watching after the Red Wedding.
Okay, gotcha.
We probably watched around the same time.
Yeah.
And that's when we started talking about it. Yeah.
Very good. Now, so that was one of the questions I threw just for anybody, but what kept you watching over the entire series? Because that's a long time. So what kind of kept you hooked in there?
It's very unpredictable.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yes. It's action-packed, and you just don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, you think in, like, other movies and shows that, you know, the main character never dies. No, not
Oh,
not
anybody
this case.
can get it.
Oh,
Huh?
anybody's game there. Yeah.
Wow.
The first season they kill off the main guy, and it's like, wait a minute.
That's the guy from Lord of the Rings too, right?
He is
He
from
is.
Ned Stark.
Sean Bean. No, it's
I
his
don't know
name.
his real name.
I am Eddard Stark, Lord of Winterfell, and Hand of the King.
Okay.
But
He's
he's
definitely from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but I
Ned
remember the
Stark.
picture when they show the iconic picture of him on that throne. That's him.
Well, when you watch it, you think he's one of the main characters, and then
Sure.
when they
He was.
kill him,
He
you're
was
thinking,
strong.
what is
Yeah.
going on here?
that's
So
when
that
you realize the
gets you-
series
Yeah.
will take anybody at any
Yes.
time. Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's interesting is, and because I watch all different kinds of fandom, but it's interesting how that whole thing has bled into lots of shows now because people are like,
Yes.
I like that. They took him out. I wonder if, Game of Thrones kind of set that precedence or something too.
Yeah, well, what's great about it is I'm kind of a comic book, that kind of geek.
Yeah.
But you have medieval times
Sure.
mixed in with magic,
There you go.
mixed in with dragons,
Right.
and white zombie frozen people.
Wow.
So, I mean,
They just need a superhero to walk in.
Oh,
yes.
there you go. I'm sure some.
It,
Spandex.
Arya.
Yeah.
Wearing
Exactly.
spandex.
Oh, see, there you go. We're going to get into favorite character in a second. Now, here's what's interesting. So, I this might be the time, Tyler, but I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. We've talked about that in our show before. And so I think that there's some cross-pollination here of, I'm sure he's read Lord of the Rings and influence too, but they have all kinds of creatures, trolls, ants, orcs, all kinds of stuff. So with Game of Thrones, you're more, it's actually more, should I say realistic, where there's not as many creatures, or they have giants?
You do have
Yes and
giants.
Oh, you have giants,
Yeah, it's
okay.
like yes and no.
There are, I think, giant elephants.
Oh,
Like
But they didn't
mammoths?
show them. They didn't
Oh,
show
mammoths.
Well,
them.
they're like, they've kind of been like exiled, right?
You
They
have,
live north
yeah.
is
of
that the
the walls.
frozen north? Okay,
Right,
gotcha.
They live north of the wall because they're
Yeah.
kind of like freaks, I guess, that shouldn't be a part of the rest
Oh.
of. They're called wildlings, and so
Yeah.
they're
Wow.
like the savage
Yeah.
part of the world. And so
Gotcha.
they're not
You
really-
have
So things have mutated.
dire wolves,
kind of, yeah.
which is the sigil of the Stark family.
Right.
You got the first people.
Yeah, who actually they believed up until recently that they were extinct.
Wow.
Because the first people were the ones that created the whole.
The
Oh my
Night
gosh,
King.
Right.
very,
Yeah.
very, very involved.
and the first
Yeah.
people, yeah.
Wow. So this is a time-based,
Yeah.
a lot of
Oh
history.
yeah, I think what's hard when you first start watching this show is there's so many different characters that
Yeah.
you gotta quickly figure out who's who. And what hooked me is that you can relate that show to any. I think we could even relate it to our school district in terms of kingdoms and
Sure.
who is the top
Power
in
struggle.
Westeros.
Yeah.
and just
Talk to Mr.
knowing-
Lamp where he's on he talks about that, right? Where he's number what? 42?
Yeah, page 1.
We're 100, 305.
So if
So
you look,
who's the
if you
Night
compare
King?
it, to, if you compare it to like our school district,
There you go.
and it could be for any school district.
Sure.
Yeah.
You'd have like the Westeros, which would be like the district office,
Nice.
and the different kingdoms as different school sites, and,
Even the different families. is
different families have
Oh, where would you put Val Verde at? That'd be interesting.
I know exactly where Val Verde
Who would we
be.
be?
We would be the Night Watch.
Ooh, is
Yeah.
that why? Night? Was it because of the Knights or because they're their character? What do you think?
Well, Val Verde High is a continuation high school.
Yeah.
And the Night Watch are the castaway boys or men that get sent to the wall.
Not always, though.
Not always, but
now
most
they
are.
Now they are.
And they're the ones that have to watch the wall from these White Walkers that
That's an important
they
job.
don't really know about till a couple seasons in that they're real. So there's a big wall at the top where they throw these boys and men who are outcast.
Wow.
When I saw that right away, some of those, that's where I think we would be.
Wow.
Yes, I think you're right.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Wow.
So that's who I related to
connectability.
right away.
Nice. Oh, very good. That's good. That's a good life application there too.
Yeah.
So favorite characters and why? Nancy, why don't we start with you? We'll start with this side. Do you have a favorite character? Is it hard to pick?
I mean, because when you start watching, you have a favorite, then they die.
Ride along on an adventure where any lead character can die. Whether you're Sean Bean, Sean Bean's wife, Sean Bean's best friend, Sean Bean's son, Sean Bean's daughter-in-law, Sean Bean's family dogs, or Sean Bean's unborn grandkid. All men must die who are in any way close to Sean Bean.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And then people evolve.
They change sides too, don't they?
Yeah, they do. So it's kind of
Wow.
hard. I know that there's like a favorite, of course, Jon Snow. You have Arya. It's just always been great.
Right.
I think right now it's probably Jaime. I like Jaime.
Who's that
because
character?
He's the Queen of Westeros' brother, twin.
Okay.
The
And
Lannister.
He was bad, but now he's kind of
honorable.
Wow.
He's,
Good when characters can change, huh?
And you like him because they're kind of redeeming themselves. That's why I think I like
That's
that
true.
character right now.
Right. Yes.
For that reason.
Very cool. Very cool. It's good.
And to I know Nancy's favorite was King Joffrey.
How does he expect me to toast without wine? Uncle, you can be my cupbearer, seeing as you're too cowardly to fight.
Your Grace does me a great honor.
It's not meant as an honor.
Free.
No.
And she talks about people dying.
Wait, is that
That's one
that
of
kid?
the.
Is that the one that everybody?
Yes.
Even outside of his role, is that the same one?
Yes,
Oh, I've heard about him.
And
Poor
because
kid.
she related to him.
He was so good at it, though.
Yeah,
Like,
He was
so
such a
good
great
being the
villain
evil guy.
that she said, "This is the character I relate with." At work,
You know who else? Two other
her
people.
emails show it too.
Who? You know who else too? Malfoy from Harry
Yes.
Potter. Great.
Harry
They're
Potter.
friends outside, but he
Right.
played such a good bad guy.
Yes.
That
Tom
people hate him.
Felton, yes,
And
definitely.
okay, I always mess his name. Ian McDiarmid, the Emperor. The Emperor plays such a good. He's such a great. And most bad guys are real good guys in life. And sadly,
They're just
it's a
really good
reverse too
actors.
sometimes
Yeah,
too.
they do their job very well.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
did you pick? That's your favorite character?
No. That's. We
Here's my
just-
list.
You just wanted to
I wanted to make
poke
sure
some
people
fun.
knew that Nancy's
Yeah,
favorite
he
character
wanted-
is King Joffrey. People had to know this.
Right. You're in the know.
It is written.
Let it be written. So let it be done.
So I think right now, I would go with maybe not these last couple of episodes, but just the way he's redeemed himself. Tyrion.
Do you know what I like about you?
I honestly don't.
You're not a hero.
Oh. I've been heroic on occasion.
Yes,
Man,
yes.
I've heard a lot about him.
He is the
Brother.
brother of the Lannisters as well. So the Lannisters were like the evil family trying to creep and take over the throne, and Tyrion switch sides, helps the new queen try to take her rightful place, or
Right.
who she thinks is the rightful place, and he's grown as a character throughout the season. So he's very smart.
Good. He's the one that survived longer too, I think.
He
Right?
has. He's not a fighter, but his mind is
Peter
very
Dinklage.
sharp.
Peter
Very
Dinklage.
clever,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
I
you
know.
notice his mind is starting to, his choices.
And that's where
Decisions
this
are-
is where you start to question. Yeah,
Yes.
what's happening?
Wondering what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
You can also realize like just how human he is.
Exactly.
Right?
I think
So
that's
it's
Is it
Okay,
age that's
so-
kidding him, or what?
What was that?
Is it age? Is he getting older?
No, I think it's just like his character.
What happens this season? He's fighting. He has now joined the side opposite of his sister. So in the earlier season, he and his sister were in the same boat. His sister blamed him for the death of her son, King Joffrey, Nancy's favorite,
Gotcha.
and also their father, who was
Oh.
the patriarch.
Oh, also the mother.
And the mother,
Who's-
because she gave birth to him, and she
away
passed away during his birth.
Yes.
So he went from leaving that house and joining the enemy house, who was trying to overthrow Cersei.
Yep.
And I think he struggles with, I want to believe my sister when she tells me things. I want to say she's going to help us in this final war. And it just didn't happen. And every time he makes a decision, now it's affecting his team.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good, complicated story.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, this is so hard. I don't know if I have a favorite. It like goes back and forth.
You can list a few. It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when it's the whole like show starts, like you love the Starks, and especially Ned Stark, who is so honorable,
Noble.
and-
Yes.
But then like Daenerys, like how can you turn down a strong female lead?
Yes.
That's not Gwendolyn Christie, is it?
No, that's
Because I know her from, Captain Phasma, but she crossed over, right? So.
No, that's I follow her on Instagram too. I love
Amelia
her.
Clark. Amelia Clark.
Yes, Amelia Clark.
Is it done then? They belong to me. Hindas lusa tida.
Tida.
It is done. You hold the whip.
Is your character still around? She got killed.
No, she's the main one of the main honchos.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the one trying to overthrow Cersei.
She's put up with a lot.
For the throne. Yeah, and she's gone through like so much. You know, she was sold on her wedding.
Oh my gosh.
But then like she liberated like cities of slaves kind of thing.
Wow. Some cities, I think,
yeah.
But like lately she just like they're starting to make this like parallel between her and her father, who was a mad king and used to burn people alive and just like be that king that would take over. So I see her going into there, so now I'm like, I don't know how I feel about her because she's gotten kind of arrogant.
I saw that.
What do you think that's making you think that?
That she's turning arrogant?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like she's starting to question a lot of her advisors.
Yes.
She's kind of going a lot more with feeling rather than with like
logic.
her brains and like her logic.
And she does things more than ask. Remember,
Right.
She always got advised.
Impulsive?
She doesn't.
Right. And I think that's the main thing where like, and especially I think I saw like that change when she was talking to Samwell Tarly. And let him know, right? Like, oh yeah, your dad was one of the ones that went against me, and I told him, I told him to bend the knee.
Right.
And it's like rather than like, okay, well, let me throw you in a cell for the rest of your life and let you think about your decisions. She just had the dragon burn him.
Wow. Do you think she did that more because she's a woman and maybe she felt like they were defying her because they saw her as a woman? That's the way I took it.
Do they have? Is there? They're obviously doing that same. There's not equality between men and women in this, are there? So there's a lot. She's struggling. She's fighting. Oh no, I know because of not the family friendly stuff. Yes, I know.
I mean,
She's a great, strong female figure.
Right. So I think right now I'm going more towards the Stark women. I don't know which one to pick over the other, but Sansa and Arya Stark.
My name is Arya Stark. I want you to know that. The last thing you're ever going to see is a Stark smiling down at you as you die.
And that seems like the house has been kind of real solid.
Right. Okay. I mean, and they did have like Sansa was such a dummy. She was such an airhead for such a long time, but
she was protected in the beginning. That's why she's gone through so much.
She was raised to kind of be this like woman to be taken care of, and she wanted the little princes and princesses and whatnot.
I want to marry the prince.
Yeah, I want to be this lady of the court kind of thing, and now she's like she's a badass lady. Yeah. So
the reality set in.
Right. The real politics.
Right.
Which is what this is all about, right?
Definitely.
Wow.
She was raped by her husband at one point.
She had to grow up quickly.
It was bad. Yeah. So she's
overcome a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I really
learned from it.
Right.
So
well, that's what. Instead of crippled, you learn from it. You move forward too. So.
Right. So them too, and Arya's an assassin. So
Arya's
and I think that's why I love Arya.
Yeah, I agree. So there's your answer.
Hey,
right
she
there.
gets things done.
She does.
Efficiency.
No problem.
We were talking that about list. Check off the list, right?
Exactly. And she does.
She has her list.
She has her list and checking it twice.
She would go to
Who's
sleep
naughty and
before she
nice.
would go to sleep every night. She would start listing off names of all the people she wanted to kill.
Wow.
Because of
They wronged her.
Is that as she fell?
Right.
Is that as she fell asleep? Instead of counting sheep?
She would
Wow.
She would do that, and I think she's just about
Almost
gotten
done.
everybody.
Almost, yeah.
Cersei.
Wow.
Cersei is the last one, I
Now
think.
Cersei, I think that one's going to be the big battle right there.
Wow. Wow. So that was your character?
Arya's definitely my
Awesome.
favorite.
I'm going to save this question for the end. Oh, no, I guess this is a good one. So one of the reasons you guys were together is they had a big, now it's not over yet.
No.
3
Right.
episodes left.
But you had a epic battle.
Yes. Right.
And this was the one I guess you all want to talk about what it was like, what is satisfying for you, what do you think that did for the show? What do you want to talk about that?
Well, everything culminates to this.
Who's fighting who, by the way?
Okay, so you have a couple different houses. You have the Targaryens and the Starks. They end up joining forces because they realize that the White Walker threat is real. You have the Cersei Lannister, promised to send troops but did not. She's plotting to take bought soldiers and prepare for war in the Westeros, which is the main.
Oh, there's multiple battles
kingdom.
going on then.
There will be.
Okay.
So she's preparing for war and not supporting the North is where this battle takes place.
Gotcha.
And that's where they prep for this war. And it's been leading up to this point because the Night King has finally broken the wall and headed south.
And this is the king of the White Walker?
The White Walker.
Gotcha, okay.
It's like the zombie king.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Frozen, yeah.
Frozen.
And so, I mean, they figure like once he gets through the wall, there's no stopping him and turning everybody.
That's where the Night's Watch was so important.
Like,
That's where that's where Val Verde High was
Cersei kind
important.
of comes in and says, "I'm going to kick them while they're down, and I'm going to go and."
Right. If they even survive.
If they even survive.
We'll pick up the
So
scraps
instead
and
of-
beat everybody
Like
else up.
either plan A, like they'll be taken care of by the Night King, or plan B, if they survive, it's gonna be so few of them that it'll be easy for me
Wow.
to
pick them off.
over.
Wow.
So
Do you know?
she's kind of smart.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's funny you're talking about that, but do you know what the Battle of the Five Armies is? Did you ever watch in the last, the Return of the King?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not Return of the King, from The Hobbit. The Hobbit had a battle of that.
Yes.
But it was five,
Yes.
and the five were kind of coming at each other. It's like, can you imagine so it really is it two sides or not? It's kind of a mess, isn't it?
It's a whole bunch of houses coming
United,
together to stop.
Supporting
The
a
Night
certain king
Yeah.
or queen,
Got
or
it.
like stopping the Night
But
King.
the main guy is the zombie. That's what.
That's
Yeah.
the biggest threat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So they figured they have to take care of him before they can even worry about Cersei or anybody else.
Oh, got it.
Who's gonna
He
be
doesn't
the
care
king or
where
queen.
you're from. He's just going to kill you.
Right. So the main three houses are the Targaryens, the Starks, and the Lannisters. The Lannisters currently hold the throne.
Okay.
The Targaryens, which is the
rival,
Daenerys,
yeah.
came back from the east and she's ready to take it over, but the Jon Snow, which is a Stark, begged her for help in the north.
Targaryen.
Well, he's technically a Targaryen. We were going to get. I was hoping to get to that.
Yeah, you
He
didn't
thought
know
he was
this
part
all
of
along,
the Stark family.
Oh.
He is in charge of the North. He became the king of the North, is what they called him.
Right.
And a former Night's Watch leader.
Oh, he's got a couple different connections here. Okay.
So he begged her for help in the North because he knew those White Walkers were real.
Gotcha.
And she joined him.
Ah.
So.
Wow. I just had a question on it too. So they, I lost my train of thought. It happens there too.
Well, this battle kind of resembled Helm's Deep.
Oh,
from
that's
Lord of the Rings.
and that's what the show
Sure.
said.
That's what it kind of resembled.
Okay, gotcha.
And it was great.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yes.
was. It
How
was
many of you
awesome.
watched it again last night?
I did.
I did too.
I watched it.
You know what? I'm gonna have to watch it again tonight.
What I say was, so this is now with the books. He has not completed them.
No, he
But
has 2 left.
Are the books catching up to the movie? Are they? The books are behind, and this is where it's going to end. Is this season the last season? Is that what they're saying?
No, so the books, I believe they're behind. So there's 5 out right now,
Yeah.
and there should be 7.
Wow.
I didn't read the 5th book because the 5th book, it's completely different than the show in that. So that time when Tyrion kills his father, right? Tyrion flees and escapes Westeros so that he's not murdered by his, family or the queen or whatever. And so book 5 is literally like, so it's a thick book. It's a few hundred pages long.
Okay,
and
all
it's
big
his-
books?
Yeah, and it's the entire book is his journey to get to where Daenerys is.
Wow.
And so like, but in the show, it's just like the season finale for whatever season that was. It's him killing his father and escaping, and the following season starts up with him
With her
meeting
already, yeah.
Daenerys. And so we don't get to see all that middle part. So for me, I was like, I didn't really care.
I gotcha.
So I read all the way to 4, but yeah, it's like already like even with book 5 was completely different than the show.
Sure.
And there's still 2 books left.
Wow.
So
Wow. And there is earlier we were talking about this is that so I know his health is not great, George Martin, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to get his book done. So but okay, we were talking about the battle, and we were saying something about it wasn't as there's something missing.
Well, so I mean, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good, but then it was still like I walked away with a sense of like, oh, something was missing, but I didn't think it was a bad episode. Yeah. I opened up Reddit, and Reddit.
Yeah, what is Reddit saying about that too?
Reddit is pissed.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Reddit is not happy, not even a little bit. They say it went from being this like fantastic show that like you don't know what's gonna happen and like everything is unpredictable or whatever, and it's all of a sudden turned into like a Disney fairy tale.
Oh wow!
Which is not what people like the show for, and
Wow.
it's simply I think it's because of like I don't even know like. I think Arya like coming back to like save the day, or like that final battle between the Night King. It should have been between like him and Jon Snow, and it should have been a lot more epic than what it was. And like, how could he just?
So you think there should have been more fighting?
Well, that
with the Night King.
That's what like I'm reading on Reddit.
Reddit. They wanted more of the battle.
Personally, I think I don't know. I feel like there should have been a couple of more characters that perished. Just because it just didn't seem realistic to
it was
me.
because none of the main characters that we love died, and that's
none of them
unusual.
No,
that show.
People died,
but none of like Jamie didn't die.
And
Tyrion
so
didn't
and there was a
die,
lot of times in
Brienne.
the episode where like the odds were so against them. Like they were literally like on the floor. You couldn't see them because there was like White Walkers on top of them.
They were
and then they
should have
survived,
died.
right?
Yeah.
And like they should have died, but they survived.
Gotcha.
So, like, that for me was.
So
a
you think there
little-
should have been a higher kill count?
At least like one
with
or
main
two.
characters. with
Well,
main
you're going for the
characters.
emotional,
Brienne,
right?
Norma,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
Yeah.
I have to agree with
Even
that.
Reddit wanted to
Podrick
cry.
survived, right?
Even Podrick
Wanna
survived.
cry.
I thought Podrick
Jamie
survived.
has
kinda-
like one arm and he survived.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
a little strange for me.
I gotcha.
Samuel, who's like the notorious like scaredy cat, survived. So it's like-
Nice.
Yeah.
But maybe he's gonna grow, right? Character development. Who knows?
I think the killing of the Night King came by so quickly that you're kind of like, that's it.
Yeah.
Was he not all badass as he expected, or what?
He had a lot of power.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think for me, I made sense of it. Like, not anyone can just fight him. He's just so powerful. So you had to trick him to kill him because he's just too smart and
Sure.
too powerful.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it made sense, but I can see why people were upset because you kind of wanted to
Yeah.
see
Like a sword fight type.
something.
Yeah.
But who could fight
Or
him other
something
than
more.
Bran? I mean,
Well, there was a fan like theory or like alternate ending, if you will, that I read where it was like it should have been like the Night King comes up to Bran where he's at by the werewood, right? And Bran's in his wheelchair, and so all of a sudden, like the Night King reaches over to like grab his arm where he has that mark, right?
Oh,
The
yeah,
Night King
yeah,
left,
yeah.
But then there's nothing there, and the Night King's like, "What the heck? This is kind of like off." But then
Oh,
it turns
no.
out that it's
Arya.
oh
with
yes.
his face on, and she's like, "Well, I got you now," and then there's like
Gets him from
so it's
there.
like that would have been what I like that person said, that fan
Oh,
was
nice.
like that would have been more so like the Game of Thrones that we know and love.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh.
you know,
I
like
agree with that.
so
What
Well,
do
I
you-
think
go
what
ahead.
they were trying to have Jon battle him. They just couldn't get to him.
Is he the
his
main
zombies-
character for the moment?
Jon
Yeah.
Snow is
Yeah.
whoever. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Jon
at this
Snow
point.
finds out that he is actually the heir of the throne, the rightful heir.
The big three. Yeah.
He's not really a bastard son of the Starks.
Gotcha.
He's actually the son of the Targaryen, which was the original hierarchy of
right.
the throne.
The Iron
Has this been all messed up over the years? Is that what's happened? Is that why everybody's fighting for it?
Everybody wants the throne,
And it's one over all the other kingdoms.
That's right. The sword throne that you see.
But the comfortable looking one. Yes.
That's the main
Yeah.
one that everybody wants.
Yeah, that one.
I think they call it the Iron Throne.
The Iron Throne. That's
Nice.
exactly what it is. That's right.
Yeah, it's not cushy at all.
I didn't have an issue with the way he was killed. I think he was just overconfident. I think he knew Bran was there.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he's crippled.
And he's crippled. He killed Theon.
Right.
And he thought Theon was the last defense. I was actually surprised that myself that Arya got there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
she came out of nowhere.
was I okay with it? Yeah, I was okay that Arya killed him. Would I have wanted a sword fight? I would have wanted to see at least him and Bran have some kind of discussion.
But he doesn't talk, so how can
I
they-
know,
Yeah.
I know. That's what I was waiting for.
Or like
Monosyllabic.
he touched him and he had some kind of vision, you know, like something.
Why
like
does
that
he
would
not
be
talk?
powerful. Oh, the Night King.
I-
Just does it.
Oh,
He's
the
just
king.
dead.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the Night
He's
King
just
doesn't.
dead.
I just wanted to.
He's dead.
I just wanted to know.
He doesn't
A little bit more.
I want to know why all this battle to get to the three-eyed raven. I just want to know what he was thinking.
It
That's
seems like it's more than what Bran said. Bran said he's trying to erase all
Erase
man,
memory,
but
right.
it kind you kind of
There has to be
but-
something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
because,
agree.
because Bran is the three-eyed raven, he has all of the memories of like all of time essentially.
Ooh.
And so the only one that knows, I guess, how to defeat him or or can anticipate the Night King's next move is Bran.
Yeah.
Which is why he wanted to get rid of Bran. Because they were connected.
Is
like
the third eye the being able to see the?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
essentially.
Gotcha.
But the thing that I think the producers of the show or the guys that write the show, they were saying they didn't want it to be Jon Snow because that's predictable.
Ah.
He's a hero.
yeah,
Everybody
that's
likes the
true.
He's a
unpredictable.
hero.
I love
Everybody
that it was
expects
Arya
him
to
to
take
save
him
the
down.
day.
I like that.
I love
well,
Arya.
and you could
yeah.
see throughout the
Yeah.
whole show that he was trying to get to
Yeah.
Right.
Bran.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but the dragon, the other
Yeah.
side
Right.
dragon.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was like, I have no
Trying to
issue
get
with
him.
Arya being the one.
I don't either.
How it ended.
I think
I liked it.
I just was like,
Twists
more
are
people
good.
needed to die.
And you really didn't know where she went, right?
Oh.
After
Yeah.
that.
Oh, so there's some
Red
unresolved
Lady.
things too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's
Melisandre.
the Lady of the Night,
Melisandre?
or the Light Witch, or
Yeah,
what would you call
the
her?
priestess.
The Red
Red
Witch.
woman.
She asked Arya, "What do you tell the
God of death.
God of Death?" And she said, "Not today." And so she disappears.
Oh, wow.
Right
And
after
you're
she.
wondering where she went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're
Well, I
right.
mean, you're captivated by all the other fights
Yeah.
that you
You get distracted.
don't remember that
Right.
she
Sure.
left. You
Yeah.
just- and all of a sudden she shows up, and it's like, whoa.
Assassin style,
Yeah.
ninja style.
Yeah.
Have you all seen Endgame yet?
I
I
have.
have seen Endgame.
You haven't?
Yes, I
Haven't?
have.
Okay, so I'm going to talk this to you for a second. So I'm going to talk in code.
Okay.
Gamora,
Oh.
what happened? Right? Don't say it. Snap the
Yeah.
finger again, and
Yeah.
was she part of Thanos' thing? Who knows? So that'll be interesting. Well, that's another conversation.
Another
That's
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah,
See, I didn't code. I didn't spoil it.
It was crazy. I watched both the movie and the show in the same day, so my emotions were crazy on Sunday.
Oh, you watched Infinity War?
In the morning,
Yeah.
Endgame.
Game of Thrones at
Yeah.
night.
I did that too after
And
school.
I watched Endgame the Friday before, so I had a day in the middle, and then I
Yes.
watched, Game of Thrones on Sunday. But
Nice. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
oh
it
my
was
gosh.
an emotional weekend.
Well,
Yeah, it was.
so you get some things unpredictable. So I know we're gonna. So question: is there any? James started this earlier. Any life lessons from this character? Anything? Because a lot of we talk about why our show is all about the characters, right?
Right.
Things you can learn from them and take from your life, and that's kind of the big thing now. Anything that you took away from these characters, you're like, yeah, that's a good life lesson there, or something. Anything that you want to?
Redemption.
Redemption?
People can change.
People can change. You got to give people a chance to change. You can't judge them based on what they were like years ago.
Sure.
It's like with Jamie, with
grow up.
Tyrion, with all these people, they've
grown.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growth is
Positively.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So.
Good
And then we have
opportunity to go.
Cersei.
And then Cersei.
Yeah,
you got
Cersei's just
the
that one
ultimate
that
evil.
never changes, but
Right.
yeah.
She's never
But
gonna
the other ones
Consistent.
do. So.
Well, she even remember she got what's his face, that sellsword guy, or she sent him to kill her brothers.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Bronn.
Bronn.
Yes.
Bronn. She
Yes,
paid
yes,
him
yes.
to go kill her brothers.
So she wants to murder someone, but she can't send her soldiers.
And Bronn is
They
loyal to
betrayed
the
her,
brothers.
they left her.
Yeah.
So
He is
family
loyal to the
issues.
brothers,
Yeah,
but
but she
he-
wants
Oh,
him dead.
definitely.
Oh, got it.
It's like life.
She feels that.
What's
her
that like
brothers
life? They say
betrayed
like
her.
what?
Life.
Oh, there are people doing it right. It has some of those things have not changed. People are still doing good and bad things,
And you
right?
got to watch who you trust, because
Yeah.
even amongst the family,
That's
there's
amazing.
a lot.
Right.
Right.
Oh, there's levels of
And
trust.
loyalty. Loyalty
Yeah.
is big in this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Honor.
Valar Morghulis.
Yeah.
All men must die.
Ah,
Yeah.
who said that?
That's it's a.
Melisandre said that, didn't
Yeah,
she?
and it was the big
The
like
man with
Lord of
no.
the Light.
Yeah.
kinda
Man with no face also said
Man
that,
with
right?
no, yeah, their
Right?
whole
Yeah, I think
religious
so.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like the whole saying throughout the entire show.
Life
All
is
men
short.
must die. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valar Morghulis. Yes. All men must die. But we are not men.
Right. All men must
Well, that
die.
makes sense if they're all anybody could be gone like that,
And,
right?
and for
And it
this,
really
this
is.
past episode, Melisandre, she fulfilled her purpose, and then she was gone. It's
Yeah.
just like everybody fulfills a purpose,
Sure.
and then they're gone.
Do you know Winston Churchill and Hitler died around the same? Well, is that right? Died around the same time? Because when he passed, it was his time to go. They both fought. He fought the fight against him, and then it was his time to go. So
And it was like
very
they
fitting.
fulfilled their purpose, and then they go.
Yeah, very
And
good.
there's all these.
Just like Endgame, you can rest.
Well, it's kind of like the Hold
Yes.
Door
Right,
episode.
yeah.
Hold the door.
Hold the doors! Hold the doors! Hold the door! Hold the door!
That whole
his
purpose
purpose.
the
Yeah.
whole time.
Right.
I cried.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
That one was sad.
That was a
So you had it. Do you have moments of everything? Happy, sad, just
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
For sure.
There's a lot of humor, I'm sure, in there too, right?
Yes, there is.
Yes.
That's good.
Tormund.
Tormund and the big woman, or the tall, whatever he calls her.
Yeah.
The big woman.
Yeah.
And the
He wants to
giant's
have
milk.
monster babies
Yeah.
with her.
A monster.
And how excited he got when she got
Yeah.
knighted.
He's like,
Oh,
So
that's
for people
fun.
who don't know, the
Yeah.
Tormund is like a wildling from the north.
You are an only child.
I told you I was.
You didn't.
I did.
I surmised. Drake.
Joined the north to help fight the White Walkers. She sees a tall female knight now
she's a
and
knight.
falls in love with her.
Because that's
Taller
what they're
than Gwendolyn
into.
Christie's character? Because she's pretty tall, too.
I don't know who that is.
I don't.
Gwendolyn Christie's the one that played, she's the, well, she's the one that played Captain Phasma, too. So she's the blonde, short hair. Is that who we were talking
think
about?
Oh, Lady
Brienne.
Brienne.
Yeah,
Lady
It's probably
Brienne.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, could be. Yeah, she's very, very tall, very.
Tall
Yeah,
blonde.
no.
Oh, that's her.
Yeah.
name. Sir.
Sir,
Sir
right.
Brienne, yeah.
I'm like, we can just call her Lady, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that's the one that's
Doesn't
very
matter.
tall and got.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
She just got knighted
got
right
knighted.
before
Oh,
the war.
she's huge. I
Yeah.
think she, not huge, but she's very.
She's
Yeah,
very
she's
tall.
tall.
Yes.
She's, has like broad shoulders.
And that's
kind
like
of thing.
when she got knighted. That was the first time I ever saw her smile.
Gwendolyn
You just
Christie.
saw such happiness.
Oh, Gwendolyn
in
Christie,
her.
yeah.
You're right.
And she's crossed over into, Star Wars.
And she's an
Yeah.
amazing character.
She is.
Yes.
My husband thought she was supposed to die because, like, when she got knighted, he was like, "I think that's her whole arc, her character arc. I don't think she's
Her
gonna
purpose,
survive. Yeah,
to-
I don't think she's gonna survive the battle."
Yeah.
And then she did.
Wow.
Which is not bad, but
There you go.
But she
I'm
can't
kind
die. She has to have babies with Tom.
Oh god.
Or Jamie, you never
Yeah.
know.
I don't see Jamie
No, I
getting
know.
with her.
No,
I really don't.
yeah.
I really don't.
So, it all started with Jamie Lannister and Cersei Lannister visiting the North
Ah.
to try to recruit Ned Stark, which is the head of the Starks, to become the Hand, which is like the main advisor of the king, which was a Baratheon.
Yeah, at the time.
His best friend.
What people didn't realize is the twin brother and sister, Jamie and Cersei, were actually the ones who were having the relationship, and those were their kids.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, there.
So
Incest.
them
Yes.
pushing
Yes.
Bran out the tower started
Covering
this
up.
whole
Yes, you're right.
whole journey.
Yeah, 'cause
And now we're coming to the end where now Jamie has come around to the, I would say, the good side.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And
he
trying to,
apologized, too.
yeah.
I'm sorry for what I did to you.
You weren't sorry then. You were protecting your family.
I'm not that person anymore.
He was on trial. He went to the north by himself. He thought the army was going to follow. Did not happen. The Lannister family.
Right.
And he went on trial, and Lady Brienne, or now Sir Brienne,
Right.
vouched for him, and that's how his life was saved because of all the good he's done for.
Wow.
But
the
he always
people
had
around
that
him.
good in him because when he helped her out back in some episodes, he was still kind of mean.
Right.
But he
Yeah.
had that honor.
He had good.
Something
Well,
in him.
he had that
The
fight.
struggle.
helped her.
Struggle.
The
Yeah.
struggle with him is they
Yeah.
always called him the
Kingslayer.
the Kingslayer.
Ah.
He's the one who killed the Targaryen king, the Mad King,
Oh wow.
Daenerys'
dad.
Is that the first one that was on?
The
Well,
original.
that happened before like the show started.
show
so
started.
This is
Ah.
like the background.
Gotcha.
Story.
So this is where Daenerys is trying to regain her throne because
It was right.
Jamie is the reason why the Baratheons and everybody else took over when it should have been a Targaryen.
But Jamie killed the Mad King because he
He's
was
crazy.
going to
blow up the
city.
Yeah,
so
no.
it was still some good in him. He was doing it for the right reason.
But I think his name stuck with him.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And he
Yeah.
was supposed to take care of the king no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what the knights do.
But he was doing it.
So he had to come
overall,
full
right.
circle.
Full
to get back
circle. He
around.
was supposed to guard that king, and he killed him instead.
Right.
Good.
But
Yeah.
for a right reason.
Right.
Well, yeah.
for sure.
We find out much later. Yeah.
Yeah. So people who have not got into, if you had some kind of watch this movie, what would you say to the people who have not checked out this show? Why they should investigate? I mean, you already said it, but what's your zinger at the end? Like, this is a show you should watch. Now I do know too. Not everybody, because it's pretty adult too, right?
Right. It's right.
Yeah.
There's nudity for sure.
Right.
Full
And
disclosure,
violence.
so.
A lot of violence, yes.
gore.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely an HBO show that needs to be watched or away from little kids.
Sure. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. Right. You've been warned. It's all good.
Right.
Yes.
Go full disclosure.
But it's got it all. I
Right.
mean,
It has it all.
You know,
It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's just.
That's what I tell my students. I'm like, because they always look at me and they're like, "You watch a show with dragons, you're such a nerd." I was like, "Listen, the dragons are just like a side character."
A side character,
But like,
yeah.
if you look at the entire story, there's intrigue, there's revenge, there's love, there's crazy stuff.
It's
people
about the
dying.
relationships.
It's,
It really
right.
is.
Yeah.
It's like
Back
more
to characters.
true than anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Yeah.
Betrayal, everything. Yeah.
And each of these characters, you can find a way to relate or see somebody you think could relate to that character.
Sure.
Right.
Gotcha. Yep.
Like the three of us definitely agree. Nancy is King Joffrey.
Don't bring me into this.
boy, here we go.
This isn't me.
When she asks for attendance, get it in. Let's go, people.
We'll say Nancy's more so like
Hopefully now.
In about a month or so, we have an episode we were talking about how, how do you connect all these fandoms, and it really comes down to characters.
Right.
I think because it, like you said, and
archetype.
Archetypes.
The English teacher.
Yeah, that's the word for the day. Exactly. Right. Yeah, certain things that we're looking for, and it's nice when they get those archetypes they throw us for a loop too, right?
Sure.
Change stuff up. So it's
Or
awesome.
there'll
thing
be like
about-
2 or 3 archetypes. At the same
The good thing
Yeah.
about the show too was
Conversions.
that you watch it and you're thinking, okay, I got my favorites, and then they're gone. And then it's like, and
So
and
what
the
do you
people-
do?
and the people that you thought maybe were insignificant end up being
The
the main
Everybody has
characters.
their moment, right?
Yeah,
15 minutes of
These are
fame.
the main characters. We'll follow them. And
Awesome.
then they,
Martell.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody gets
Who killed
wasted.
the mountain?
No.
Yeah.
No, and
Wow.
I think it is all about purpose. Everyone has a purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
like life, everyone has a purpose. We're all
Yeah.
here for a purpose.
You know what that remind me of
Brad
is,
keeps on saying that,
do you remember City Slickers? The one thing. What are you meant to do? Yeah, that's very important. Purpose is very important.
And that's
sure.
what Brand keeps on telling them.
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody. No, that led you to here. No, that led you to
Yes,
here.
destiny.
Jamie,
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like, why are you sad about pushing me out of the window if
Yeah.
that made you who you are now and brought me to my purpose?
Yeah.
Even though
Wow.
it's
Oh,
crazy.
that
Eon, same
sound like
thing
someone's
with
got a good
Eon, so
perspective
yeah.
on it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so one of the
Some of the
characters.
characters were even brought back to life
Right.
for a purpose.
Right.
For their
Multiple
purpose.
times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that one gentleman.
We're not done
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
done yet. Not dead yet.
And now
Very-
it's
and then
done.
he found out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Protect Arya.
Dundarian.
Very,
yeah.
very good. Well, Mr. Uribe, since you are, we're going to make this official, actually. So, again, I'm big Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
fans, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Here, I'll
The
give
movies, I
I'll
haven't
give
read
a
the
little
books,
background.
yeah.
We were talking
Go for
about
it.
Lord of the Rings beforehand, and then I kind of got shunned because they found out that despite me being an English teacher, I have not seen or read
That's right.
Lord of the Rings, except for one. My husband bullied me into it. But essentially, it's because I've been trying to read the books
Oh,
before I
sure. Right.
watch the movies, and then there's just, life gets in the way, and I haven't been able to. So,
yeah. So we're going to kind of kickstart. Now, I will tell you a little bit. But I've actually read these 12 times when I was a kid. This is my escape from pretty bad, stuff from my childhood. And they're great movies. So the thing is, I did start with The Hobbit, but I think Lord of the Rings might be good.
The Fellowship was my
Fellowship,
favorite.
yeah, this is the
That
first
was my favorite.
first of trilogy, and since you, younger generation, you're used to prequels,
Right.
So you can always go back and read The Hobbit and fill it on the spots.
Right.
That's how they filled them, anyways, right?
Yeah.
But I think I will pass this on to you because you enjoy your reading,
thank you.
and there you go. There's your summer reading, and then if you get me the other one, we'll do an exchange.
Okay.
Because I have
Yeah.
not read them, and I'd
Yeah.
like to know more about
Well,
them.
actually, so the Game of Thrones books, I got them. I was kind of traveling and living somewhere new. What is the word for that? Relocating.
Yeah.
For 1 year to
Right.
the East Coast to work and do some service or whatever. And so because I knew I was going to be traveling, I bought the bundle of the 5 books on Kindle.
Oh, that's a good
So
idea.
I didn't
Oh, I
have
could
to
just
travel
find
with
that.
big old Bibles on
Yeah.
planes
Yes.
and on
My
buses.
backpack just for my books.
And
Well, I can find a
everything-
Kindle. Yeah, I'll check it
So
out.
I was like, everything in my backpack would have been those books. So I got them on a Kindle instead.
Next to your Harry Potter backpack,
Yeah, but
right?
I do have some of them on print now that I've like gone back.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I'll
Or
give
just
one
gonna
of
remind me
those
to
to
do
you.
it. So we're a little cross pollination here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If you like Lord of the Rings, and if you like Harry Potter,
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What other
this
fandom
is
does?
this is the adult version.
Yeah.
Right.
Of these
Yeah, because
mixed
Harry Potter has dragons as well.
dragons, magic,
True.
Magic.
Yeah.
houses,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
allegiances, all that too.
Yes.
Sure.
That's true.
The
Gotcha.
Lord of the Rings movies seem to go very slow.
Oh, compared to.
Compared to the book.
It's more-
Well,
The books are slow
Compared
too.
to Game of Thrones,
Game
yeah.
of Thrones,
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you know,
Well, the
this'll
books are
keep
more
your
slow for
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then again, you got to remember Game of Thrones was written after Lord of the Rings, where it's a different
era.
Different, yeah, because you have to pick up speed a little bit, probably.
But can I see it relate? Most definitely.
Yeah.
There's
Most
a lot of
definitely.
similarities.
That's good. Yeah, fantasy, a lot of things cross over, and but its own unique thing.
Right.
So.
And Ned Stark is one of the people on Lord of the
I
Rings.
can't
So.
remember his name.
Oh, you've tell me that what he does look like, because I know all those characters.
He's the one that got killed at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, he's the one who
He's
really
the
wanted the
other-
ring. The one of
He was
the
trying to
that's
take it from
Boromir.
human.
Boromir.
Boromir. There you
Boromir,
go.
yeah, but
Boromir
he
and
did
Ned
redeem,
Stark.
but he
Sean
redeemed
Bean?
himself
Is that
too.
He did at the end.
Sean
He
Bean.
did the same thing.
It is
Yep.
him.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's him.
Oh.
Yeah, he's good.
Well, he died early on though.
Now, if
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
he died
in
in
a Harry
season
Potter
1.
movie, that'd be a trifecta.
Well, same thing.
That would have been.
Oh, I'm sure there's somebody that's been on multiple.
Well, what's her face? The Stark, the mother of the Starks. What was
Caitlin?
her?
Yes.
Caitlin, yeah, she was in Harry Potter as well. She was
was.
Hermione Granger's mom.
That's true.
For a couple of the late movies.
Right.
Yeah.
So he got some connection there. It's
Now
all
we
good.
gotta find her in Lord of the
Brothers,
Rings.
first cousins, aunts, uncles.
Right.
Something like that too.
You know,
So.
coming from the show of incest. So.
Yeah.
Well,
Multiple
anything's
incest.
possible.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
Daenerys and Jon Snow.
Generational.
Targaryen. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you see that
Well, they didn't know.
When John told her how that he's
And she
all she cared
reacted-
about was the Iron Throne.
Oh,
Which is why I was like, she's
That's-
turning into
she's
a.
She's turning mad.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking, wait a minute.
She had no emotion.
You're
when
his
she
aunt.
Was telling
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Samuel about his
Yeah.
brother
Right.
and father.
That's why I
Wow.
was like, I think she's gonna be bad, you guys.
Yeah.
I think
Basically,
she's gonna
Jon
be
Snow is
bad.
having sex with his aunt.
Yeah.
And she didn't
Well,
even care about
They
that. She
didn't know
just
Had
cared
sex
about
with his aunt.
you
And
want
then after
Oh, he
they
didn't know his
found
aunt.
out,
Wow.
It's happened again
And on
because
that
we
note.
would have seen it.
Well, no, I don't think it's happened again because she's
Whatever.
more worried about the
And
throne.
crossover with General Hospital. Right? Or and a novella. Throw a novella in there.
Yeah.
Actually, they came pretty clean though, don't they, for the most part?
Yeah.
Or no, what was it? No, not novella. What I'm thinking of the TV shows, the little
All my children.
No, the Spanish
Like Mexican soap novelas.
soap opera novelas and novelas. Okay,
Novelas,
gotcha.
uh-huh.
Yeah, we were
Yeah, those
watching.
are bad.
Yes, though it's funny in
They're
Korea,
cliched.
they keep them all really super clean. They have their,
Because they're on during the day. The
Yeah.
ones that are like 8 or 9 p.m. Those are the bad ones.
Right.
So you still don't see nudity like you do on Game of Thrones.
You know, actually, fun
fact.
surprising fact. My cousins in the Philippines watch it too,
Game of Thrones.
but they're censored over there.
Oh.
The HBO showings of.
So how does he still like it? I mean,
Because
just
no,
cuts it-
well, what's happening is they
Do they cut that scene out?
they
or
cut out
what do
either
they
the sex or the violent scenes, and I'm like, wait, you didn't watch it yet? And they're like, no, I gotta wait for it to get online so I can watch
they
the
pilot.
original.
Yeah, gotcha.
The way it's supposed to be.
Gotcha. Well, that
You know,
one.
I have been meaning to watch it in Spanish because it'll pop up on like when I got HBO with Hulu, and it'll show up as like Game of Thrones in Spanish. I was like, I wonder if it's like just as good. I don't know.
Oh, if it translates well.
Right.
We were watching the Infinity Wars with subtitles.
Sometimes they're better in Spanish.
There's
in
some
my
things that
opinion.
translate. There's some things in the background that popped up. I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay, there you go. They
Yeah.
picked up a lot of that stuff
Yeah.
too. So,
Just
yeah,
side
little
note.
subtle stuff.
Right.
Yes.
Anyways.
Wow. Thank you also. Well, you know what?
What
We
do you
did
think
this.
is gonna happen?
Yeah. Oh, you want it? You want to have some last little zingers? What do you think?
have 3 episodes
Where it's
left.
going? How's it gonna?
I think Sam is gonna survive.
Really?
Okay.
But
You
that's
think
about
so?
the only one I think. I don't know about everybody.
Have you
You
talked?
think
Did you
he's gonna
mention?
be the one that tells the story?
I
right?
do,
Yeah.
and I think Daenerys is gonna have a child.
So there's a narrator
With
here.
John?
I think so.
And John.
Because they emphasize so much how she can't have kids.
Right.
Oh.
She's gonna have
Right.
a kid. She's
Yeah.
gonna have.
And then that kid will actually be the king.
I'm thinking that kid is gonna
Yeah.
actually reign. Yeah.
Nice.
I do think Daenerys and Jon will die. That's what I think.
I'm guessing Cersei will die.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping Cersei
Yeah.
dies. I'm hoping Arya
We all
gets to
hope
kill
that
her
Cersei
too.
dies. Yeah, right.
Yes. I really
Yeah,
want
Arya
Arya
needs
to
to
kill
take
her.
her, yeah.
No, what's scary though is you fight the Night King. You think he is the bad guy, and he's done in like the 3rd episode. So
wow.
If
They
he's
set it
not
up
the
for
true
something
bad
else.
guy,
Right.
Cersei must be really, really bad.
Wow. The warm up.
Yeah.
So hopefully have a satisfying ending to it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right. Good.
More episodes.
Hopefully another big battle.
Yes. Well,
Now-
the next one's supposed to be pretty long too, right? The next
Everything else is gonna be like an hour and a half, I
I
thought.
think, yeah,
Wow.
80 minutes, I think they
How long is the show normally?
An hour.
An hour.
Okay, so yeah, your beer zingers, yeah. So, wow. Well, thank you all so much for being here today. And wow, I think and there's a number of shows that it's just because HBO don't have it, but there's so many shows,
No, I only
so
buy
little time.
HBO when Game of Thrones comes
I'm
out. That's
with
the
her.
only
That's a
time
good
I have
idea.
HBO.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then you binge watch to shut off.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
pretty
wait for like it's like 2 months or whatever
Oh.
that because it comes out every single
Sure.
like weekend, and so
Right.
that's the only time I'll purchase HBO. And then once Game of Thrones is
So
done,
$20 and then I'm done.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 20, 40 bucks.
It's
Yeah.
worth it.
We're done.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, let me throw something at you. Since your Game of Thrones is coming to an end, do you know what else? Do you know what they're doing next? Do you know what they're producing? I think.
Oh, I heard that they're gonna make a
Like 4 spin-offs, I heard.
yeah, and
Oh.
one of them is gonna be like the Children of the Forest, like their whole story,
Oh.
Got it.
creating the Night King and creating the whole Westeros universe
Oh.
and where the families came from. So that's I think gonna be one of the spin-offs
Ah.
that they're thinking.
I was
What
going a
the
whole
other
different
ones?
direction.
Do you know?
Prequel.
I think
Yeah.
it was that, and then there was I think the Targaryen side of it. I think. I
Nice.
had
So
heard.
it's going to keep it going. Well, what I was going to tell you was the producers, what I've heard is that they're going to be doing a Star Wars series, which is medieval because it's like 1,000 years before. So,
Right.
which fits in with theirs, but it's Star Wars based.
Interesting.
Could
Oh.
be. So there's all kinds of things possible.
Yeah.
All
Same
kinds of-
producers?
Mhm.
Wow.
That would be cool.
I
That would be
thought
awesome.
I thought they also might be producing the Tolkien one too, the Lord
That's
of
what I
the
was
Rings
gonna say.
one,
Aren't they gonna do
I think
Lord
so.
of the Ring one
Yeah, so
too?
they're keeping their genre, but they're kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
tying some other fandoms together. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if these producers work on those projects, I
That's
think
gonna
it'll
be
be
really,
awesome.
Really good.
Right.
Especially if
maybe
it's
it'll satisfy your
HBO where
fans,
they-
right?
There's
Definitely.
less censorship.
Yeah,
They can do what they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Right.
Do a
Yeah.
lot more.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah. So there you go. More. So we're not done.
I hope not.
But this episode's almost done. There you go. That's it. Well, thank you all so much for being on Neekology today, and I hope the audience feel like they got schooled too, right? On their little bit of fantasy and Game of Thrones. So, for all of us here, I'm still Gary, and class is dismissed, and we are the Knights who say, Neek. Thank you.
I feel like Jack, the actor, has an abundance of redeeming qualities. I feel like Joffrey, the character, less so.
He's kind of always sits like squiffy on his chair. He's like always picking it at the handle, and he's like, I am the king!
Thanks for listening to Neekology 101. Let's study the nerd and geek in their natural habitat. If you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button and stay up to date with all that's new in the Fandom Universe. You can find Neekology 101 on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, and wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd love to hear from our fans, and your input helps make this show possible. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at Godman Geeks, or you can contact us at Neekology101class@gmail.com. We know we have a lot of fandom choices out there, so thanks for letting us invade your fandom universe. Because we are still the Knights who say, Neek.